Hello, everyone. For those who don't know me, I'm Kat. I'm a wife, a homeschool mom, and an avid reader. For everyone else, welcome back. It is July, and that means it's time for another TBR video. I am going to share with you some of the books that I want to read during the month of July. But there's a slight difference this month. Over the last couple of years, I have been amassing a large library on my Kindle and then forgetting about it. I've also signed up for 6 NetGalleys that I haven't read or reviewed yet. And I believe all of the books are published now. So, for July, I am challenging myself to first read all of my NetGalleys, and second, to read through some of the books on my TBR, or on my Kindle library. What kind of brought this problem to mind, other than my NetGalley dropping below 80%, which is where they tell you to keep it. Yesterday was Stuff Your Kindle Day, where Amazon does this huge ebook sale where a bunch of ebooks are on sale for free. And I might have increased my Kindle library by 46 individual books and 6 box sets, which range from 3 to 7 books each. Yeah, so I have a little problem. But as with everything else, there's an easy way to solve this problem, and that's to make it my goal for the month. So, like I said, my goal this month is primarily to read those 6 NetGalleys that I requested every single one of these for one reason or another. So it shouldn't be a chore to read these books. And then the others are books that I have bought in the past, whether for 99 cents or for free, or one of them I actually spent, I think, $12 on it, because I wanted the book. And so I need to read it and be a good steward of what I have. So let's start with the NetGalleys and what they are and what they're about. Because these are NetGalleys, I do not have the covers for these books in color on my Kindle. I have a Kindle Paperwhite. It's all black and white. And then my husband has graciously lent me his Kindle, or his Amazon Fire 10, but because they are NetGalleys, they can't be shared through the family membership, or under the family household. So I'm going to pull up the covers from Amazon themselves to show you which books it is, and then I'll tell you a little bit about it. This first one is The Other Merlin by Robin Schneider. This one intrigued me because it is a gender switch of Merlin. Now, I have watched Merlin on Netflix and absolutely loved it. Loved the series. Thought that that series was really well done. And then I've tried to read some other Merlin or King Arthur books and not liked them so much. So I'm hoping that I'm going to enjoy this one. The premise of this one is welcome to the kingdom of Camelot. Prince Arthur's a depressed botanist who would rather marry a library than a princess. Lancelot's been demoted to castle guard after a terrible lie, and Emery Merlin has arrived at the castle disguised as her twin brother, since girls can't practice magic. So in this one, we have Merlin. Sorry, my cat's under my feet. We have Merlin, but instead of the traditional male role or male gendered Merlin, we have a female Merlin. And she is masquerading as a boy so that she can continue practicing magic. And this says, life at court is full of scandals, lies, and backstabbing courtiers. So what's a casual bisexual teen wizard masquerading as a boy to do, other than fall for the handsome prince, stir up trouble with the foppish Lord Gawain, and offend prissy Princess Guinevere? So, it seems that this is going to be kind of one of those light YA romance type books. The cover really hooked me when I saw it advertised on NetGalley, and I have not read anything by Robin Schneider. So this is a new author to me, but the cover really grabbed my attention, along with it being a Merlin retelling and kind of a Merlin twist with that Merlin's actually a female and trying to pass as her twin brother. So this should be interesting. This book was published in February of 2023, so you definitely can get your own copy if that's something that interests you. The next book that I have on my TBR for the month is also another NetGalley one, and it is A Botanist's Guide to Parties and Poisons by Kate Cavardi. This one, the cover is what grabbed me. The flowers on there with the potion bottle, it looks gorgeous to me, and this is like something that just screamed out to me as you need to read this book. And this is a Saffron Everly mystery. So it is a mystery book. And we have Saffron Everly, who is determined to blaze a trail at the University College in London. And she is in the botanist department and really wants to get engaged in conversations about the university's expedition to the Amazon. And at a dinner party where she's trying to engage these other professors that are there, one of the professor's wives drops dead, poisoned by some toxin. And her husband, not her husband, Dr. Maxwell, Saffron's mentor, is the one who is suspected of poisoning Mrs. Henry. And so Saffron Everly is trying to solve this mystery of who actually poisoned Mrs. Henry. It says, will she be able to uncover the truth, or will her investigation land her on the murderer's list? So this one is a historical mystery, it sounds like, because there's a lot of things about, um, yes, it is. I'm sorry. It is a historical mystery. It takes place in 1923. I did not see that part. And so she's trying to um, dance around the societal expectations of the 1900s. And so it's one that I tend to enjoy mysteries of this time period. Um, and just mysteries in general, but this time period is a lot of fun because you have that kind of twist on where women, but at the time, women are in these little boxes of, being a a homemaker and things like that. So this is one that I am definitely looking forward to and seeing if I can figure out the mystery throughout the book. So the next book on my NetGalley, I'm not entirely sure how I ended up or why I picked this one. Um, it was one that I saw and at the time thought would be interesting. I still think it might be interesting. It's just a little bit different than my normal reading. And this book is Crow Mary by Kathleen Grissom, Kathleen Grissom. And this one is a Native American historical fiction. We have, it's 1972, and 16-year-old goes first, a a Crow Native woman gets married to a white fur trader. And he changes her name to Mary, or he gives her the name Mary. And this seems to just be a story of this Native American and how she goes through the winter trading seasons and just how, I guess, a Native American would view some of these things going on. It is a, I guess it's not. I thought I saw something that said it was a generational. All right, yeah. But it's the main thing is this winter trading season that goes by peacefully, and then they're getting ready to go back to Montana, and a group of drunken whiskey traders slaughter some Nakota Indians and take some of the Nakota women back to their fort. And one of these women begs Mary and her husband to take them back, to rescue them and return them back to their tribe. So this is one that is not normally something I would read. It seems a little more in a culture that I don't know a lot about, but I'm completely okay with that because I love to learn new things about history. This will take place over or just after the Civil War, and that's a time period that I don't know a lot about and a group of people that I really don't know very much about. And so I am definitely excited for this one. This one did come out on June 6th of 2023, so it is published already. So if you want to get your hands on it, you will be able to as well. This next book is one that's been out for quite a while. Oops, sorry, MM. It's been out for quite a while, but NetGalley just recently put it up on their page for ARCs, and I'm not sure if that's because the author is doing like a re-release of them or what. This book is from 2016 when it was released, and it is Alcatraz and versus the Evil Librarians by Brandon Sanderson. I absolutely adore everything that I have read by Brandon Sanderson, and so I am 90% sure I'm going to enjoy this one as well. This one is a little bit different from what I have read of Sanderson, only because I've only read his YA and adult novels. This one is a middle grade, and it is following a 13-year-old named Alcatraz Smindry. Says, yes, I got named after the prison, don't ask. And he receives his inheritance, which is a bag of sand. And then accidentally destroyed his foster parents' home. Or their kitchen, I'm sorry. So, it turns out that, his Grandpa Smindry comes to suddenly rescue him from all of this, and he is gonna go with his grandpa to invade the local library to get this bag of sand back that has been stolen from him. Oh, this is one that totally seems like something I would enjoy. And NPR says that it's an excellent choice of a read aloud, which for one of my classes would be perfect. I do teach a class where I read to my students, and the whole class is just read alouds. And so if I can introduce them to Sanderson in 1st through 3rd grade, even better. This is one that I am definitely looking forward to reading and having a good time with. And the last book on my NetGalley list is The Isle of the Gods, and this one is by Amy Kaufman. This one caught my eye originally with the cover. Just it's very well done and gorgeous artwork. And there's a pirate ship. Well, I assume it's a pirate ship. It's a ship. But also with that, it is written by Amy Kaufman, which I have read several of her books that she co-authors with other authors. I've done the Illuminae and the Aurora series, which she did with Jay Kaufman. I also read Shattered Pieces. I just went blank on that one. The Starbound trilogy, beginning with These Broken Stars, which she wrote with Megan Spooner, and I've really enjoyed these ones, and so I'm kind of curious to see what her writing style is without these other authors. I feel like Kaufman with Spooner had a very different feel than Kaufman with Kristoff, but like I see those as very different writing styles in the two, so it's kind of one that I'm curious to see where she falls in that. And this one is, um, this one is a YA fantasy, and it's following Sally. It says she has salt in her veins. When her father leaves her high and dry in the port of Kirkpool, she has no intention of riding out the winter at home while he sails off on an adventure. But any plans to follow him are dashed when a handsome stranger with telltale magician marks on his arm commandeers her ship. He is Prince Leander of Eleanor, and he needs to cross the Crescent Sea without detection so he can complete a ritual on the sacred Isles of the Gods. Sally has no desire to escort a spoiled prince anywhere, and no time for his entitled demands or his good looks. So this is one that's kind of that enemies to lovers is what it sounds like it's going to be, but there is magic, a lot of fantasy going on in this as well. So I am really excited for this one. And Isle of the Gods did come out in May of 2023. So if you think that this book might be one for you, you should be able to get your hands on it as well. The next book that I have on my list, these are now after my NetGalleys, and these are books that I have bought, whether for free or for 99 cents, or one of them I spent more than that, but I purchased these because I wanted to read them, and with the exception of one, I have not read any of them. And so I think I better do so. The first one is, oh, I don't know if that's going to be seen. All right, that's not. The first one is Gods in Alabama. And this one is following Arlene Fleet. And when she left her hometown for college, she made 3 promises to God. She would never again lie. She would never fornicate outside of marriage. And she would never, ever go back to her hometown in Posset, Alabama. All God had to do in exchange was to make sure the body of high school quarterback Jim Beverly was never found. 10 years later, Arlene has kept her promises, but an old schoolmate has recently turned up asking questions. And now Arlene's African American beau has given her a tough ultimatum to introduce him to her family, or he's gone. And so here is a story that we have our character trying to figure out how to move forward. I have loved everything I have read by Jocelyn Jackson in the past. So this is one that I am definitely looking forward to. And since my thing isn't really showing it, this is the cover. And this is the same cover that I have on mine. So I am really excited to finally get to that book, and hopefully have a great time with it as I have with all of her other books. The one thing with Jocelyn Jackson is many of her books are very hard-hitting due to their nature. Most of them are dealing with some aspects of racism going on, or prejudice that is put against certain people, regardless, before they're even known. And so it's one that I don't think there's a single book that I've read from her that I haven't cried in, just because they hit really close, not close to home, but they hit really hard, and I can definitely put myself in the main character's shoes. The next book that I'm looking forward to reading is is The Other Wife by Claire McGowan. This one is a thriller suspense, and it is following these three different women. We have Susie, and she is pregnant, scared, and living in an isolated cottage with her jealous husband, Nick. Then we have Nora, who moves into the only house nearby. Susie latches onto her as a friend. And she's almost tempted to even share her secrets with Nora. But there's more that meets the eye with Nora. And then our third woman is Elle, and she is living the perfect life. She is fixated on keeping up appearances and making everything look perfect. But then her husband betrays her, and it unravels a secret going all the way back to her childhood. And she's going to do what she can to hold on to him. And through this, we find that these three women are connected in ways that they don't know about. And so this is one that I'm really looking forward to reading. I love twists and turns that come with thrillers. Thrillers used to really intimidate me before last year. And then now I have found that I like gobble them up. They are becoming my bread and butter. I really do enjoy them. The next book that I am looking forward to hopefully getting to during July is The Paper Magician by Charlie N. Holmberg. This is a debut novel from Charlie Holmberg. And this is following our main character, Sione, 12, and she arrives at a magician's cottage with a broken heart. She graduated the top of her class, and she has been assigned to apprentice as a paper magician. And that is not what she dreamed. She wanted to be spell metal. And once she bonds to paper magic, she'll be stuck with that forever. She won't have any other way to do any other magic. And at first, everything seems really strange to her, but her magician teacher, Emery Thane, turns out to be super awesome. She learns how to through him is learning how to animate paper creatures, bringing stories to life via ghostly images, and even reading fortunes. But as she discovers these wonders, she also learns of the extraordinary dangers of forbidden magic. And an excisioner, which is a practitioner of dark flesh magic, invades the cottage and rips out Thane's heart from his chest. And it is up to Sione to save her teacher from this man. And so she is going to go on an adventure here. And this is the first. There's actually 4 in this series. I bought them all at once for free, I believe. But it is one that I really want to read it and see what all of the excitement with this one was about. And now we have another book that is a historical fiction and is another tough subject. And that is The Tattooist of Auschwitz by Heather Morris. This is a story that takes place in a very horrible time in our history, and that is during World War II and the Holocaust. This is a tale of hope and courage based on interviews conducted with a Holocaust survivor and um, uh, tattooist Ludwig Sokolov. And in this, we have it's April 1942, and our main character is a Slovakian Jew, and he is transported to Auschwitz. And his captors discover he speaks several languages, and he's put to work as a tattooist, tasked with marking his fellow prisoners. So, due to his being tasked with tattooing his fellow prisoners, he is in July of 1942, sorry, he has prisoner 32407 in front of him, and he comforts her through tattooing her number on her arm. And during this first encounter, he vows to somehow survive the camp and marry her. This is a horrible time, like I said, in history, and I am really drawn to these stories of Holocaust survivors. I really, while it's a very heartbreaking time and a very hard subject to talk about, I really enjoy hearing the stories of these people. This one is it is historical fiction, and so there, of course, is not going to be completely true, but it's one that many of the events that go on are going to be linked to actual events, even if the story line that we see is not true. And to end on a not quite so heavy note, the final book that I am looking at reading this month, or that's in my goals to read for the month of July, is The Book of Life by Deborah Harkness. This is the third of the All Souls trilogy, and it is finishing Matthew and Diana's tale. If you have read the first two, you know that they have just returned from time walking back to the future, or back to their current timeline, and there are a lot of things that are going to come at them. Part of the biggest trouble with them is Diana is a witch and Matthew is a vampire, and the species are not supposed to intermingle because it makes them more visible to humans. And everyone is after Diana because she has found a grimoire that has been lost for many years, and each of the different races believe that it is either their um, creation or how they were created, or how you can destroy them. So the demons want it, the vampires want it, and the witches want it. And they're all hunting down Diana to get it. And so this is one that I have loved. I've actually already read this one, so I do know what happens in it, but I do want to continue reading it. I was supposed to start it earlier in June, but to do it with the read along, but I will just read all of it in July to finish that series up. And there you have it. There are 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 9 or 10 books that I'm looking forward to reading in the month of July, and they all are on my Kindle. So this is going to be an interesting month. I normally, or well, so far this year, I have dealt more with physical books instead of digital, and have really enjoyed it. I love having a book in my hand, but I can read this in the bed in the dark without bothering anyone by turning on a book light. So we'll see if I can stick with it. I might have to go to the library and borrow some of these books in physical copy if I have to. But let me know what you are reading in July in the comments, or just throw some words of encouragement in there to help me keep going through all of these ebooks and getting caught up on my NetGalley reviews. I hope that you enjoyed this. If so, please leave a like. And if you aren't already subscribed and you enjoy what I bring, please do hit that subscribe button. I'll see you next time. Bye.